As you can probably tell, something's not right here. So back in October when Hussey was on the dyno last, we spun her a little too high in the RPMs and did a little damage. So the engine's been pulled, and we're going to open it up and start figuring out exactly what happened. Just some preliminary stuff that I did before I pulled the engine out. So she's got 3,871.5 miles on it now. And I did a compression test on all 6 cylinders. In order 1 through 6, I got 180, 180, 180, 200, 185, and 190. So the telltale sign for that there was problems with this was that the head gasket started leaking coolant really bad. And before that, while it was on the dyno, the torque converter bolts came loose. That was actually signal number 1. Signal number 2 being the head gasket leaking, and then I did also notice that the harmonic balancer had moved. The bolts come loose on it, and the harmonic balancer has moved out. It's trying to come off of the crank. So, not sure what else I'm going to find in it. Everything was running fine, aside from leaking coolant everywhere. And now that the engine is out and on the stand, there's some very obvious signs that it was pumping coolant out the exhaust, specifically in number 3, real bad. It's that exhaust port's completely clean, and number 1 was getting a fair amount through it also. So welcome back to the garage. Let's tear an engine apart. So I don't know how this is coming through, but I've got the oil drained out of Hussey, and I wanted to take a look at it to see if I saw any metal flake in it. I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but there is some very fine flake. It's making a stripe. You can see it running down right there and all the way around, making a swirl. Nothing stands out there. Looks like the end of the crank's okay. I didn't really expect to find any problems. According to the Chevrolet Inline 6-cylinder power manual, these head bolts should be torqued to 95 foot-pounds. Let's see what they are. Alright, the old meter's set to zeros. This is the side where the coolant was leaking the most. And cylinder 3 is right here. Cylinder 1 is right here. So should probably assume that these two, maybe this one, are not at 95 if they were coming loose because of harmonics. So let's see. That one moved at 118.8. That one moved at 114.5. That one moved at 103.3. That one moved at 101.6. That one moved at 99.2. That one moved at 115.8. That one moved at 88.1. Let's try the other side. 92.5. 101.8. 102.9. 89.1. I'm gonna take a quick look at these lumps and see what they're measuring at real quick. That one came loose at 84.7. $92. And 82.5. Nothing bent there, but I really didn't expect any bent push rods. Well, I can definitely see the coolant, but nothing is sticking out here like a sore thumb, showing me that anything's happened. You can see, I don't know if you can see it from there, I'll bring the camera in closer in a minute. Number 3, number 1 exhaust valves look different than the rest. Number 2 is just filthy. Well, back out in the garage tonight, day 2. So I did a little cleanup on the head last night, and I don't have what I would consider to be a machinist straight edge, but I checked with a couple of straight edges that I think are pretty true, and I got a feeling for some reason the head is warped off of Hussey here. We're going to wait and see. The block and the head are both going to go to the machine shop as soon as I get everything tore down here. So I'm ready to take out the crank and the cam. Now the rest of the engine is tore down, and I'm already seeing something I don't like. I think we've got some ruined parts in this engine, and I'm not really sure why. So let's get into it and see what we find. Well, good news is the crank looks awesome. I do see some marks in the bearings, but I don't see anything major. I mean, the bearings, they're gonna have marks in them. Anytime you rotate something and something else, it's gonna leave a mark. I do think that the front set of bearings and the second one show quite a bit more of pronounced lines in it than some of these other. I mean, they're all there, but I don't know. They look pretty good. You know what? The last one back here really looks good. That's pretty interesting. I just expected the ends for some reason to be more than the worst. That one looks good. This one looks, it's not wore out. It's just, I can see the lines in it a little better. Let's get the cam out. I've already got it loose, so it's ready to come out. And I left it in there so I could kind of reach in here and help guide it out. So on the cam, this is a roller cam. This is not a flat tappet. This is a roller cam from Tom Lowe. And this end all looks good. That lobe's not as nice as I'd like it to be. These look good until we get to here. Cam is smoked, and I have no idea why. Can you see that rough area right there? Don't know what happened. Hope that's coming through in the camera. Time for a new cam. So that's cylinder number 1. So I took all of the lifters and they're bagged. So this is number 6. Here's number 1. So let's open this back up. Let's look at number 1 here. So that is the exhaust lobe. I'm looking at the actual roller that would have been on that lobe of the cam. These feel perfectly fine. And I don't even see a wear mark or anything on this roller. Ooh, maybe. Hold on. Nope, that was just oil. I don't know. Maybe that cam was just bad. Maybe it didn't get hardened correctly and it's just a little soft, because the matching roller that would be on that lobe looks perfectly fine. I don't know. Disappointing. So I've already moved into cleaning and cataloging parts here, and one of the things that I pointed out to you guys is the cam lobe. Number one cylinder, the exhaust cam lobe, is damaged. I think it's probably soft, and I'm probably going to have to send that back to the manufacturer for them to look at it and determine if it is indeed soft, to see if they're going to do anything for me warranty wise. Also, to kind of prepare for that, I thought probably better look at the springs and see if I have anything that's out of whack. Thinking that maybe if I had a soft valve spring and you know, at a higher RPM, maybe I was getting some valve float, that maybe that particular lifter was coming down on that back side of that lobe and kind of hammering a hole in that lobe, so to speak. So what I'm doing here is I've just got something. I've got the specs for the springs, and Comp says that those springs should measure 105 pounds at 1.8 inches of height. So when they're compressed to 1.8 inches of height. And they say they should read 293 when they're compressed to 1.2 inches of height. So my first test I did was at 1.757, just a little bit lower than 1.8, but that's where everything just kind of fell into place with my makeshift tooling here. And I'm not really finding anything that sticks out. I'm just going to show you a couple of things here. The number one exhaust valve spring is running a little bit heavy, but it's not excessively heavy compared to anything. We're talking about, you know, 5 pounds heavier than the rest of them. So probably nothing, but I have the data. It's repeatable, and I'm going to show you what I did here. So here's the valve spring that's in question. And I've got this set up right now to compress to 1.20. So I should be reading in the 193 range. All of these springs at 1.2 are measuring significantly higher than 293. All right, I say significantly. You know, 5 doesn't seem like much to me, but some of these are measuring 10 when they're compressed that far. So I don't know if that's a big deal, but here I'm going to turn this on so you can actually see a number here as I do it. All right, so this is just a standard shipping scale, and I'm not so worried that this is giving me a perfect number, and I'm not so worried about the height being perfect. What I need here is repeatability, so that every time I compress an individual spring, I get the same number, so that I know that I'm comparing apples to apples when I compare one spring to the next. So here we go. The advantage of this little drill press is that it's got to stop. It goes to the same place over and over and over again. So here I go. This is what I've been doing. There we go. That's my spring that's been in question right there. Okay, so I'm going to release this, and we're going to do it again just so you can see it. It's repeatable. It's not perfect, but it's consistent. Within a pound or two. Kind of moved there when I bounced. Let's try it again. there it is. So if you hit it in the center, consistently, keep it everything centered, you get a pretty good reading. So I'm going to grab one more here. Let's see, I'm even going to look for the one that had the lowest reading, which would be number 4, intake. So, as you can see, it's not an exact science, but it's repeatable, and it's data that I can give to the cam manufacturer to help make a decision and hopefully get this cam warrantied and not have to pay for another one out of pocket. All right, we're back at the machine shop today. Got the cam here, and we're going to do a hardness test on this soft lobe to kind of keep Crower, keep them honest when I send this back in for analysis. Here we go.
I get to be on camera doing this?
We do.
Fantastic.
V6 or straight stick?
Straight.
Yeah.
Straight junk right now.
Okay. And that thing gets swapped around to there, and you bring that up to 150, back to set. So that reads. Alright, I get you to back up a little bit. That's hard to read from that way. That's reading about 10 Rockwell right there.
Okay.
Which seems
Soft.
Okay.
Okay.
And which one do you want to
Pick a spot. This is a good one. Let's try that one. You want to rotate the cam?
We don't have to. Do you want to come over here, or do
Sure.
you want? Hopefully I got enough. Here, you may have to. Yes, let's go ahead and rotate it a little bit.
10 Rockwell.
Okay, set. Bring that around up to 150. Back down. That's 40.
The endless Rockwell?
No, I'm sorry, that's. I think I might have been reading the wrong one. That would be 45 on the C side. Okay, let's try this one more time while we're here.
Okay. 2 scales.
Yeah, there's a Rockwell B and a Rockwell C. I think I read the wrong one. So let's turn that there. 150. Set. That time I got 54.
54.
That's
Okay.
okay.
So that's a good lobe.
Yep, so let's go back to that one. Set. Okay, so on top of that lobe, you're getting like 48.
Okay.
So let's come back over here. Let's do the same thing on there. On the other side, I'm getting like 46.
Okay, let's do that kind of off to the side of that real pitted area there.
Let's see what we can do here.
Kind of close to the edge of it if you can hit it.
Close to the edge, which way?
Close to the damaged area there. No.
Keep it rocking on me. So I'm afraid that angle is throwing this thing off a little bit, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that one just
Moved. I saw it move.
a little bit farther back up that.
Yeah, I see it.
So our other option that we can do here is, I mean, it'd be destructive, but you can grind a flat on there and try to create more of a straight surface between those two.
Yeah, it's a little more important that the manufacturer be able to see that than to...
Agreed. So I think that...
You got one reading in there, so if you were reading the wrong scale,
I was
the
reading,
first, you read 10, so what would that be on the...
it would be nothing on the C scale.
Okay.
Nothing at all. But that being said, it's very possible that slid its way down that slope and is not an accurate reading.
It's soft though.
You can see it falling, but
It's soft though. That thing sure gets in there quick. It's amazing. Okay. All right.
is this good enough, or you want me to try something?
No, I think that's hard to read. Say hello to YouTube. So what you just saw is I took the cam to my buddy's machine shop, and he's got a hardness tester. It's an expensive little tool that not a lot of people probably have a reason to own. And we wanted to see if we could tell if this cam was soft in a couple of places. It turns out it's difficult to check a cam lobe when you can't get across, you know, when you're on the side of a lobe. The tool doesn't sit real straight. We got one hit in the bad area on number one exhaust lobe that appeared to be straight on, and it gave us a very low reading of 10 Rockwell. We did a couple of test spots in another on another lobe for another cylinder that seemed to be wearing just fine, and we got you know, much higher reading. I think in the video, I think he called out I want to say 46 or 48 Rockwell, so significantly different. We did do some with a magnifier, and I cleaned this cam up. I really hadn't cleaned this up before this morning. Went ahead and cleaned everything up and looked at it real hard. So the downside of number one cylinder exhaust lobe is the one that the pictures I have the most. That is by far the worst area. But we also found it on number 2 intake upside, number 4 exhaust upside, and number 6 exhaust downside. So the other 3 locations are very small, but they're the beginning of trouble to come. So next thing that's going to happen to this is going into Crower. This is a Crower cam. Tom Lowe sold this to me. He actually built the lung block, so this was already in the cam, or excuse me, in the engine when I got it from him. And we're trying to figure out if this is a warranty situation or not. And for some reason, I just don't have high hopes. I got a feeling everybody's going to start pointing fingers, and it's not my fault, and I'm going to end up eating this thing. So I'll keep you informed. So, what's next for this engine? Tomorrow, it's going to go to the machine shop, and it's going to go in the tank, get cleaned and magnafluxed along with the head. And we're just going to make sure that all of the pieces are good to go. My flat edge that I got, like I said, I think I said previously, the only flat edge I've got in here is not a machinist flat edge. But when I put a flat edge across that head, it looks like it's bowed. So I didn't think I was doing anything hard to this engine before, but apparently I'm awful hard on it, on these poor little inline 6s, because I think I'm seeing things here that are well beyond getting over revved a little bit. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to talk to some people. Anyway, that's about all I got for you guys now. The rest of it's just a little bit of cleanup. I will let you all know how this goes moving forward. Take care, guys.
You know who made